Welcome back. I've been carrying this thought with me lately, and it's one of those thoughts that quietly follow you around until you finally stop and pay attention to it. Maybe you've experienced this too. Have you ever noticed that sometimes a conversation stays with you for days? I know I have. And it's not because it was loud. And it's not because it turned into this huge argument. Sometimes it was only a sentence, a look, a text message, or maybe it was the silence after the conversation that stayed with you the most. And you replay it and you wonder what they meant. And you think about it. What should have I said? And you imagine what they might be thinking now. And after a while, it feels like you are upset about the conversation. But lately, I've been wondering if that is always true. What if we're not always upset about what happened? What if you're upset about what it believes, what you believe it means? I think that is a very different question. Imagine someone doesn't text you back. And at first, it's simple. They didn't reply. Big deal. But after a while, our minds, they start filling in those blanks. You know what I mean? And maybe you start to think, they may be upset with me. Or maybe I said something wrong. Or maybe I'm not as important to them. Maybe they don't care. Notice what happened? The text wasn't the issue anymore. The meaning became that issue. Think about someone criticizing you at work. And sometimes the words sting. But sometimes what hurt even more is the story we start to tell ourselves afterwards. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never figure it out. Maybe they're right. Again, the criticism isn't the thing you are reacting to. We're reacting to what it starts to mean to us. And I've started to notice this in relationships too. Two people can have the exact disagreement and experience. And they experience it completely different. One person is thinking, we never agree. But then the other person is quietly wondering, do I matter to you? And on the surface, they are talking about the dishes or the schedules or money or who forgot to call. But underneath, sometimes they are really asking something much deeper. Do you see me? Am I important to you? Am I still safe with you? Do I matter? The issue isn't always the issue. And I found that fascinating, because I think many of us spend our lives trying to solve the reaction without first understanding what the reaction is pointing towards. And I wonder how many arguments have never really been about the argument. How many tears were never really about the moment. How many fears have been trying to protect something deeper. Sometimes we become so focused on what happened that we never become curious about what is starting to awaken inside of us. And maybe that's why certain moments stay with us. And it's not because they were so terrible, but because they touched something that was already there. Maybe they reminded us of an old fear, an old wound, an old belief. And when we only try to fix the surface problem, who did the dishes or who didn't, we miss the invitation to understand ourselves more deeply. And I don't say this to dismiss anyone's feelings. Your feelings are real. Your hurt is real. And your experiences is real. But sometimes the meaning deserves our attention too, just as much as the event itself. And I've been thinking about this because I believe understanding changes the way we connect. And when we start to understand ourselves more clearly, we start to communicate differently. And when we understand other people more clearly, we respond differently. Understanding creates connection. And that's one of the reasons why I am creating Serenity AI. And it's not to tell people what to think, not to replace the human connection, but to create a quiet place where someone can slow down and ask, if this isn't the whole issue, what might be underneath it? And sometimes that's where the real conversation begins. So today I want to leave you with one thought. The next time something stays with you, instead of only asking, why did this happen? Maybe also ask, why did this make me? What did this make me believe? You might discover what the real issue isn't always the real issue. And sometimes understanding what is underneath changes everything. So thank you for spending the time with me. I'm Lena Esther Cruz, and I believe understanding creates connection. And I'll see you next time.